The North American energy sector is experiencing a renaissance as advancing technologies are enabling the safe development of vast, resource-rich, and previously difficult to produce oil and natural gas shales. Recently, Tortoise team members traveled to the Eagle Ford Shale in South Texas to get a first-hand look at a drilling and production facility. Their goal? To get an inside look at the largest deposits of resource-rich oil shale in the continental U.S. and the state-of-the-art technologies being used to produce oil and natural gas. At this site, William Wallace, Abraxas Petroleum Corporation's Vice President, Operations, explains how his company is preparing a horizontal well for the next stage of production, hydraulic fracturing.
We're on site today on our Stingray number 1H in McMullen County, Texas, in the heart of the Eagle Ford Shale development. It's getting to a point now where the rock that we have available to ourselves that is laden with hydrocarbon has been passed over because of technology. We never had the technology to recover those hydrocarbons until now. But now with horizontal drilling, stage stimulation, hydraulic fracturing, we can now recover hydrocarbons from rock that 20 years ago we had no way to recover those hydrocarbons. It's a quite common misconception to the layman that whenever you drill an oil and gas well that you drill into a lake or a pool or an ocean of hydrocarbon. That's not the case at all. What you'll do is you will penetrate a layer of rock, not unlike this little piece of rock right here. It's hard, it's brittle, but it is porous. There are holes, tiny holes that you can't see in there. You could put a drop of water on it and that drop of water would finally go away. That's because it went into the rock. Well, we're trying to get oil out of that same rock. So what we're doing with our fracking process is we're actually going to, under pressure, we're going to push fluid into those pores, and we push it into those pores at pressures that are higher than the rock can stand, and it cracks the rock. But then we also pump sand in there as well. The sand acts as a proppant. What it does is it props the crack open. Then it allows the hydrocarbons a pathway to get from the matrix rock into the fracture, back to the wellbore, and then up to the surface. We have some service provider water wells near our location here. We've drilled those to an aquifer that's at a depth of about 3,500 feet. We bring that water underneath the highway over to this location. The water goes into a series of tanks for staging. Then that water is taken and it's mixed with a series of chemicals. One of them is called guar. It's a guar type material that will add viscosity to that fluid. We're at about 9,800 feet of what we call true vertical depth. And then we drill these wells generally as long as you can within a lease. This particular well is about 7,500 feet out. So we're at about 9,800 plus 7,500 out. They will not let you drill a well if there's even a remote chance that you're going to contaminate the groundwater. So on these wells, we set our surface casing at about 4,500 feet. The deepest known potable or fresh water zone is about 3,500 feet. It's the source of what we use to stimulate our wells. So we actually are 1,000 feet below that where we set pipe, and then we cement the pipe in the ground up above that aquifer so that there's no way that anything can get to that aquifer. Plus, we drill our production string goes all the way to the end of the lateral. That's a 5.5 piece of casing that goes all the way to the end of that 7,500 foot lateral, and it's cemented as well. So when we're stimulating at, say, 16 or 17,000 feet of measured depth, you're still 6,000 or 7,000 feet below what the aquifer would be, and the fracture stimulation might reach 200 or 300 feet. So there's no way you can get the fracture up to the fresh water. Once the fracturing process is over, the well will be cleaned out with coil tubing. We'll go in and drill out all of our plugs. We'll get the coil tubing rigged down, and then we'll bring the well on and we'll start to flow it back. Over here in these tanks we'll have some flowback fluids. We'll bring the stimulation water that we put in the ground to carry the proppant. It'll come back hopefully without the proppant still in it. It should have left it in the ground to prop the cracks open. We'll bring that back, and within another day or two we'll start seeing some gas and we'll start seeing some oil. We'll bring all that to the surface. We'll run it through what we call our separation train. It'll go through a separation process where the oil separates from the water, the gas separates from the oil. Then we'll take the oil, put it in these tanks that you see over here on the side. We'll take the gas and it goes into a pipeline that we have built ourselves, a gathering system. They'll take the oil, they'll take it to a refinery, and you'll make Solo cups, you'll make toothbrushes, you'll make gasoline, you'll make Tupperware, everything you use today has got hydrocarbons in it almost. I mean, from the seats in your car, if they're not leather, to the toothbrush you use every morning. We're now able to get oil and gas out of rock that we could never get oil and gas out of in commercial quantities. You could always get it out, but you couldn't afford to get it out.
Thanks to the relatively new combination of horizontal drilling with hydraulic fracturing, producers now have a commercially viable way to tap into North America's vast oil and natural gas shale reserves, putting the U.S. squarely on the path towards energy independence and increasing North America's relevance as a global leader in energy production.